Okay, so picture this. Beautiful sunny day in Boston. And out on the grass, there's a grasshopper. And he's just hanging out and enjoying his day. And he sees an ant walk by. And the ant's just pushing his little piece of bread. He's on a mission. And he asks the ant, he says, Mr. Ant, what are you doing? And the ant says, I'm saving this bread for the winter when it gets cold. I've got to keep it in my house so when it gets too cold, I don't have to come back out to get food. I've saved it. And the grasshopper's like, don't worry about that. It's okay, just enjoy this beautiful weather right now. Don't worry about it. But soon, winter came. When winter came, the grasshopper realized he wasn't able to go outside. It was too cold. And when he finally got the courage to go outside and it was shivering, he went outside and he realized that everything that he could eat was covered in snow. And because of that, he withered and died. So what happened here? Now the ant was being proactive. He was preparing for what was going to happen. While the grasshopper, well, he was being reactive. He was waiting. Maybe someone would do it for him. And there's a quote by John Maxwell. He says, I believe that everyone chooses how to prepare for life. Proactive people focus on preparing, and reactive people focus on repairing. You get to choose. And today what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you 3 key factors to help you become a more proactive person in your life. And those are going to be, first, setting goals. Second, overcoming fear. Third, building yourself a winning team. So first, you got to set goals. Anybody here know who Seth Curry is? Plays for the Golden State Warriors. Awesome basketball player. He averages about 24 points a game. Shoots 40% from the three-point line, which is about 25 feet from the basket, just in case you didn't know. 92% from the free throw line. In other words, you can fill it up. You can shoot it. Now, I know a little bit about basketball, too, because I played myself. I could take anyone in this room, and in 15 minutes, do a couple of drills with you, I can have you outshoot Stephen Curry on his best day. Now, it's provided that we blindfold Stephen Curry first. Spin him around a couple of times, move the goals around so he doesn't know where they are. Now, you might say, wait a minute, though. Stephen Curry can't see the goal. How's he going to make the basket? That'd be a good question. But a better question is this. How can you reach a goal in your life when you haven't even set one? So you've got to have goals. There's a study, an MBA study, Harvard MBA graduates. 84% of them had goals, didn't write them down. 84 had no goals at all. 13% had goals, didn't write them down. 3% had written down specific goals. They found that same group 10 years later. And the ones that had the 13% on average were earning 2 times as much as the other 87%. And the ones that had clear, concise, written goals were earning 10 times as much as the other 97% in that class. You've got to have goals. As Zig Ziglar says, you can't be a wandering generality. You've got to be a meaningful, specific. You've got to have goals. You've got to write them down and be clear. That's what proactive people do, and that's what we must do. Second of all, you've got to overcome fear. You have to overcome fear. Fear is simply false evidence appearing real. Now, there's that Gallup poll that goes back to 2001. The top 2 fears of Americans are snakes and public speaking. Well, we all have public speaking down, so we don't have to worry about that, right? But fear is simply false evidence appearing real. If I had a jacket and I walked into a bank and I said, give me the money, the teller's going to give me the money. Why? The evidence is false. It's just my finger. But they think it's real, so they act as if it were real. There's that story of a man who had a bar of soap covered in foil, wrapped it around his body, got on a plane that was headed for Miami. He said, take this plane to Cuba. The plane went to Cuba. Why? Why? Because the evidence was false. It was only a bar of soap, but it appeared real. So they acted as if it were real. And this happens in your life. That's what I'm saying. See, if you're afraid and you let fear control your life, then you will act as if it were real. That means you won't start that new job. You won't take that flight overseas. You won't open that art gallery. You won't run that marathon or that triathlon. You won't open that new business. You'll be too afraid of what could go wrong instead of getting excited about what could go right. Everyone wants to stay in that comfort zone. And we love the comfort zone, right? Comfort zones are a beautiful place. But nothing ever grows there. nothing ever grows. So you've got to overcome fear. That's what proactive people do and move forward. Lastly, you've got to build yourself a winning team. You can't go it alone. Do you know that every year from Canada, thousands of geese fly south for the winter? You know that? They're probably coming to Florida, as a matter of fact. Do you ever wonder why they fly in that V formation? You ever see that? Do you ever wonder why one leg is longer than the other one when they're flying? There's a reason for that. You know why? There's more geese in that leg. That's why. That's why. But the reason they fly in that V formation, there's a specific reason. There is an article that Lyndon Wilson wrote. 5 things geese can teach us about teamwork. And he says this: when geese fly together, each goose provides additional lift and reduces air resistance for the goose flying behind it. Consequently, by flying in the V formation, scientists estimate the whole flock can fly about 70% farther than if each goose flew alone. They know something about teamwork. And we can apply this to our lives as well. We have to work as a team. Find someone who wants to work with you and reach your goals together. Teamwork. Team stands for together everyone achieves more. That's what we must do. So if you want to be a more proactive person and reach those goals in your life, do those things. Do those things that I've discussed here. Set goals, write them down. Overcome fear is simply false evidence appearing real. And build yourself a winning team. If you can do that, it'll change your life. So I appreciate you letting me share this with you today. My name is T. Watt. And as always, allow the universe to work in your favor.